Well, let's go to Melbourne and catch up with Judith Sloan, the contributing economics editor at the Australian newspaper. Judith, do you understand what this capacity mechanism is, and do you think it will do any good?
Well, I used to think I understood what a capacity mechanism was all about, and I do understand how they operate overseas. But saying something is dispatchable renewable power is a bit like saying something's black and white, actually. You know, the real problem with renewable energy is its inherent intermittency, and just because you build out more doesn't make it any less intermittent. And
well,
I think this is really...
Sorry, Judith, I just got to interrupt there. That's what struck me, is that paradox of dispatchable renewable power. That doesn't exist except for hydro, of course. But a hydro takes forever to build, and every government's shown a great lack of fortitude in actually delivering dams anyway.
Well, exactly, and you see Snowy 2.0, which in many ways was, I think, topographically quite promising, has really gone to hell in a handbasket in terms of its execution. So it's much delayed, it's much more expensive, and actually the head contractor has now gone broke. The Queensland energy plan that was released earlier in the year, which is hilarious, by the way. If you're feeling a bit depressed, go and have that a read, because it's a joke. There's a proposed, it's going to be the biggest pumped hydro project in the world, but then if you go and read the document, there's a little asterisk says, well, you know, subject to an analysis, investigation, and possibly not. So we're not really, you know, we're not Norway, we're not Canada. So hydro and pumped hydro are probably going to be marginal parts of the energy system.
So tell us about the price caps that we're likely to see announced tomorrow. Will they deliver short-term relief to consumers?
Well, you know, it's all extraordinary. I mean, there's not a sensible economist in the world who would think that imposing price caps is a good idea. The unintended consequences are incredible, and in fact, it's a very complicated market, which is, even though it's the national electricity market, it does have very strong state components. So, I mean, what I hear is twofold, that the Commonwealth will be able to nail something down in respect of gas, maybe $11 to $13 a petajoule, which is still quite expensive, but there is a real issue about whether there is a supply for the domestic market. And we already know that ExxonMobil, for example, will probably pull out of extracting more out of the Bass Strait. So that's the gas side of it. The coal side of it, and I mean, bear in mind, Chris, here's the irony. I mean, you think they might like these high fossil fuel prices because they're kind of like a carbon tax, and, you know, yes, won't they encourage us to all get out of it, you know? But somehow they want to actually reduce the price of coal, which is nearly $600 a tonne at the moment, down to $125. It just doesn't bear thinking about. I mean, they're essentially going to enable the generators to break contracts, because virtually all the coal market is contracted. There's a very little spot, very small spot market. So the mind boggles, to tell you the truth. And
more
I'm someone
to come.
who should be able to understand.
Yes, indeed. We're hoping, but we're all absolutely boggled by what's going on. At least the lights on your Christmas tree are staying on. Thanks for joining us, Judith. The Christmas tree looks fantastic. We'll see what the morrow brings with the price caps. Judith Sloan there.